Okay, we'll start with this. On the heels of her big win over then-champion Jessica McCaskill, Lauren Price says, I want to build a legacy. Lauren Price wants world domination after defeating Jessica McCaskill. But can she do it? There are some things working against her, and it's not just the other champions at the weight. It was a stirring homecoming for Lauren Price as she took the world welterweight crown from Jessica McCaskill in Cardiff this past Saturday. Price, who won Olympic gold for Great Britain in Tokyo 3 years ago, is poised to become Britain's greatest female boxer and could go on to match the likes of Joe Calzaghe as a Welsh fighter. Perhaps she can also do for women's boxing in Britain Katie Taylor has done in Ireland, and I wouldn't relegate Katie Taylor's contribution to women's boxing to just doing it for women in Ireland. She has effectively changed the landscape of the sport, normalized it. It's a separate conversation. Katie Taylor changed the game. Can Lauren Price do something similar? That's the question. I noticed that Lauren doesn't have Katie Taylor's penchant for sitting in the pocket and letting punches go. A part of what made Katie Taylor such a fun fighter to watch, such a fan-friendly fighter, is that she was willing to trade, willing to get into exchanges and have those wars. I'm not proposing that Lauren Price let the other girls go upside her head. Just saying that if you're trying to match Katie Taylor and what she did, what she contributed to the sport, a part of it was the drama inside the ring, whereas Lauren Price is more finesse than ferocity. On her toes, in and out. She doesn't spend a lot of time in the pocket. Price also has the life story, raised by her grandparents and driving a taxi in her late teens, and the athletic skills. She is also a former world kickboxing champion and international footballer with Wales. To connect with a whole audience, Price and her partner, Karis Artingstall, a featherweight boxer and fellow southpaw, are a powerful combination too. The question mark is her development, and perhaps also her power, because Lauren's not big on power. Not really. But the 29-year-old looks set to become a star in the sport. Grounded and determined, it has always been a pleasure to spend time with Price, and her journey will be documented in great detail on many fronts as she continues in her bid to dominate the sport. She's already got the grassroots following, the hometown following, the people in Wales and their support. The atmosphere has got to be up there with winning Olympic gold, Price told Sky Sports after the fight. I can't thank everybody enough. It means the world. Credit to my opponent. I respect her. She's a credit to women's boxing and boxing in general. She came at me from round one, and it took me a while to get my distance, but I enjoyed myself, and I'm only going to get better. I want to fight at the Principality Stadium. That's the dream. I want to build a legacy and create greatness. This is just the start. You see what Katie Taylor did for Ireland. I want to do the same for Wales. But can she? Katie didn't have it easy, you know. It wasn't easy going to every single champion that was there at the time at 135 and taking their belts from them. The IBF from Victoria Bustos, the WBA from Ana E. Esther Sanchez, the WBO from Rose Vellante, and the WBC from Delphine Persoon. Their two wars, their two fights. It wasn't easy for Katie. It's not gonna be easy for Lauren. Now, I would give Lauren Price decent odds to beat Natasha Jonas. I would pick Lauren comfortably to beat Natasha Jonas on points. The problem is that Natasha may lose her IBF title in her very next fight to Michaela Mayer. And if she does, what are Lauren's odds against her? What are Lauren's odds against Michaela, who's a lot more seasoned as a professional than she is? I think that's a slightly tougher assignment. You could still favor Lauren Price to win a Michaela Mayer fight, but I do think it would be more difficult than beating Natasha. Still, Lauren, being a naturally bigger woman than Michaela Mayer, albeit less experienced in the pro ranks, she is naturally bigger and very, very fast. Fast enough she can get in, put some shots together, get back out. Too fast for Natasha Jonas. I think she's too fast. Too fast for Michaela Mayer. Too fast for Ivana Habazin, that division's WBC champion. I think she'd have a field day with Ivana Habazin. That'd be target practice for Lauren. It's the Sandy Ryan fight for the WBO title. That's the more challenging fight, the more dangerous fight. Sandy Ryan, who's very statuesque for this weight, physically strong and aggressive, more mean-spirited to the eye, far more mean-spirited than Lauren Price, and she spends a lot more time in the pocket than Lauren does, where Lauren wants to stay on her toes, get in and out, move around. Sandy wants to mow you down from the inside out. She wants to sit in the pocket, bust you up. Now, what separates Katie Taylor's situation when she went pro and went on her undisputed run and Lauren's situation is that things were a lot less political when Katie Taylor debuted. None of the champions at the time were with a major promotional outfit, whereas Sandy, who I just mentioned, she's with Matchroom. Lauren is with Boxer. They don't have a working relationship.
Going undisputed could prove difficult, not just because of the fight. You have to be able to make the fight first.
Politics are an issue. For Lauren Price, they are.
You gotta think about that.
We're a ways out from a Sandy Ryan fight. There is enough there to keep Lauren Price busy, active, and in unification matches, at least for the immediate future. There is. I want to see a little bit more inside game from Lauren. A little bit more spite, a little bit more spice, but so far so good. Men's bantamweight news. Junto Nakatani is set for his first bantamweight title defense against Vincent Astrolabio on July 20th.
What?
Unbeaten WBC bantamweight champion Junto Nakatani will make the first defense of his new belt July 20th at Tokyo's Ariake Arena against a top-ranked contender Vincent Astrolabio. Manager Sean Gibbons told Boxing Scene. Seems to be doing a lot of business in the region.
Tapales, Luis Neri, now Astrolabio.
Those were all Sean's guys, Sean's boys. Japan's 3-division champion Nakatani, 27-0 with 20 KOs, has been a destructive force following his highlight reel knockout of Andrew Maloney 1 year ago with a successful super flyweight title defense before scoring a 6th-round TKO over Alexander Santiago, then WBC bantamweight champion, to capture the bantamweight title earlier this year in February. The Philippines' Astrolabio, 19-4 with 14 KOs. Nakatani meets a Manny Pacquiao-promoted fighter who scored a knockdown-assisted unanimous decision win over two-time Olympic gold medalist Guillermo Rigondeaux in 2022 before dropping a majority decision loss to then-champion Jason Maloney 1 year ago in Stockton, California. Astrolabio recovered from that setback to defeat veteran Navapan, I can't say that, of Thailand by a spectacular 11th round TKO in August.
What was an August eliminator?
Vincent learned so much from his title shot that he's going to take into this fight, Sean Gibbons said. He's coming to Japan with heavy hands, looking at the opportunity of winning a world title.
Yeah, I think he's leaving empty-handed.
Against a guy like this, being a champion around this weight class puts everyone in the Naoya Inoue sweepstakes. Before mentioning undisputed super bantamweight champion Inoue, who earlier this month knocked out Mexico's own Luis Neri in the 6th round in front of 55,000 people at the Tokyo Dome, Astrolabio first has to contend with Japan's second best fighter, Junto Nakatani. We know Nakatani is considered a real beast right now and a possible opponent for Inoue in the next year, Gibbons said. Imagine if we whacked the guy and looked tremendous, plus winning the WBC title.
You're not.
Is always the biggest and most prestigious accomplishment at the smaller weights. Gibbons envisions Astrolabio displaying what he calls caveman-type punches fired from heavy hands. He put Rigondeaux on the deck, which got everyone to sit up and realize, hey, this guy's a sleeper, Gibbons said. He's a late bloomer in that his early losses came at a time when he was just learning and figuring things out. This is a huge risk, just like Luis Neri had a huge task before putting Inoue on the deck.
Listen, Astrolabio can go to Japan with the best of intentions, but he's not leaving with a belt. He's gonna lose.
Junto Nakatani is best described as a long and limber fighter, very statuesque for these weights. Already, he's a 3-division champion currently. He's got the WBC title at 118 pounds, and I'm quite confident he's going to keep it. Japan currently runs the bantamweight division.
Every single champion at 118 pounds is Japanese.
What that means is they don't have to wait around for an Inoue fight to get big-time boxing and big-time action in their neck of the woods. A tournament between all of those Japanese fighters is in order. So for Junto, this is just a pit stop.
Just a segue to something bigger.
Unification match with one of the other 3 champions at the weight. Presumably, holding the WBA title is Inoue's younger brother, Takuma Inoue. Holding the IBF is unbeaten Ryosuke Nishida.
9-0 with 1 KO, champion as of May of this year.
Holding the WBO is Yoshiki Takai. 9-0 with 9 KOs. Bigger puncher. The champion also as of May of this year. These are the guys that Junto would have to go through to duplicate all the success that Inoue had at this same weight. The most significant fight, the most meaningful fight, I think, at 118 pounds would have to be Nakatani versus Inoue, Takuma Inoue. That would set the stage for Naoya Inoue.
You hear a lot of people say that Inoue needs to come to America to make it in the big time. He needs to come here. And I've said what I've had to say about that. There's nothing so spectacular and nothing so great in the American boxing scene right now that Inoue should have to come here when the biggest fight for him is already over there.
What fight?
The Junto Nakatani fight.
So listen, I know we're not on the eve of that fight. That fight isn't in the works right now, but think about it. Inoue is set to return later on this year against TJ Doheny since Sam Goodman, his mandatory challenger, is otherwise preoccupied. Something's going on there, right?
Right.
Don't spend too much time on that because that's not the point. The point is that we have a good idea who Inoue's going to fight next and when.
Right?
While Inoue's doing that, Junto Nakatani can take care of Vincent, punch him right in the Astrolabia, and move on to a unification match. So long as these two guys stay winning at their respective weights, Junto Nakatani and Naoya Inoue, there's a showdown, an inexorable showdown between them that would be bigger in Japan than anything Inoue could do in America if 55,000 people came together to see Inoue beat a guy he was favored to beat.
How many more do you think would show up to see him fight Junto Nakatani?
There's a lot of talk about Inoue coming to America or Inoue moving up to featherweight when there's a bigger fight right there than any fight he could have at featherweight with any one of those fighters.
The Nakatani fight is a bigger fight by and large than any fight he could have at 126. All Inoue has to do is stay at 122. Stay at 122 long enough that Junto can meet him there.
Because eventually he will. Junto is a very statuesque fighter for these weights with a very big frame. It won't be long before he moves up to 122.
That's the fight.
That is the next super fight for Naoya Inoue against the primed, unbeaten champion, multi-weight champion like himself. Before any of this comes to pass, before it becomes about moving up to 122 and maybe fighting Inoue, or unifying 118, before it becomes about any of that, he's got to punch Vincent in the Astrolabia. And I think he's going to. I think he's going to knock him out. And finally, as it pertains to this weekend's big heavyweight showdown, veteran cruiserweight champion Johnny Nelson says, "I had a dream that Fury versus Usyk ends in controversy." Sky Sports Boxing's Johnny Nelson believes Tyson Fury is struggling to find a mental edge over Usyk and has envisioned a controversial ending to the pair's undisputed heavyweight title fight this weekend in Saudi. "I had a dream, and Tyson Fury was in this dream. I'm trying to understand what I saw. It was controversial and Tyson Fury wasn't happy. I don't know if that meant Tyson Fury won controversially or Tyson lost controversially. But I know there is a controversial decision with this fight. Mark that down. Tyson was pissed off. I don't know if he lost or won controversially, but there is going to be a controversy."
Given Tyson Fury's penchant for dirty boxing and dirty tactics, it's not outside the realm of possibility that that could happen.
Tyson Fury, what he does, he plays the fool to catch the wise like he did with Vladimir Klitschko. Klitschko disrespected him, undermined him, thought he was an idiot, a clown. He gets in their face, he bullies them, he abuses them, so they get angry, and so they aren't using their brain. Or he'll try the pal effect. He'll pal them up, as if he's his mate, and then knock them out, like he did to Dillian Whyte.
Yeah, they were way too friendly in the build-up. I expected more.
We saw it when he boxed Dillian Whyte. Dillian was full of fire and intention, and then they laughed and joked and had a dance. That wasn't the Dillian Whyte that likes to smoke. With Usyk, the problem is, it's being lost in translation, so Tyson is finding it very hard to intimidate Alexander Usyk. When they met face-to-face, he tried to use physicality, and Usyk, good on him, was cool and didn't give it back. Even if Usyk could understand him, he's playing ignorant as though he can't. And to me, that is rattling Tyson because he needs an edge. He needs to get the edge over an opponent, and that's what has worked all throughout his career. He's brilliant at it. Anything below par, he gets turned over. I'm telling you now, I believe my dreams. There will be a controversy. Tyson is a fighting man. Once the bell goes, he'll try everything he can possibly get away with until the referee tells him off.
Sounds like What Johnny's talking about is a possibility of a disqualification due to dirty tactics and dirty boxing, which is right up Tyson Fury's alley. Remember, late last year, he elbowed Francis Ngannou right in the face.
Will it get physical? Yes. Will he use every dirty trick in the book he can get away with? Without a doubt. It's a fighting game. Most fighters, when they get in there, they play by the rules. And when they get hit low or with an elbow, they complain to the referee, and then while complaining, they get beat up. He's got to rough him up. He's got to lean on him, hit him low, push him to the floor, get in his face, rub his glove in his face, do all the unorthodox things. He's got to get the man rattled in order to feel comfortable. I think both men can win by knockout, without a doubt. Each heavyweight fight Usyk is having, he's getting more comfortable being in there with heavyweights. I know he had 5 heavyweight sparring partners. I spoke to 3 of them, and they said he got stronger as the rounds went on, and he manhandled all 5 of them. We're thinking that Fury's physicality is going to be a big problem for Usyk, but Tyson Fury's physicality is his height, reach, and speed, not the power. Speed leads to power, and both fighters can get knocked out. If Fury gets knocked out like Francis Ngannou did, he'll chuck it in. His pride as a fighting man will make him internally combust. Doesn't matter what his PR people say. If that happens to him, he'll struggle to accept it. He said before, he'd struggle to accept losing to a little cruiserweight.
That Fury's dirty tactics could get him DQ'd is not outside the realm of possibility, because you have to go back to how it was he knocked out Steve Cunningham. Before he landed that knockout punch, he shoved his forearm right in his face, an illegal move.
Late last year, as clear as day, he elbowed Francis Ngannou, and Francis was able to take it right in the face, but that doesn't change that that's an illegal move, and Tyson Fury is a dirty boxer. So you figure that if the fight is progressing and Tyson Fury is becoming frustrated, he's rattled, he's not succeeding, that is what he might resort to, and that in and of itself could lead to a controversial outcome, a controversial ending. It is possible.
But I'm sticking with Usyk.
In part because of what 3 of his 5 sparring partners said. He actually gets stronger as the fight progresses. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm picking him.
While he wears you down as the fight progresses, he picks up the pace. He gets stronger.
I'm not sold that just because Tyson Fury's skinnier now than he was last year, that's going to win him the fight. It's more of a fitness camp than a fight camp, if you ask me.
I still think that Usyk, even though he's smaller, physically, he's got an edge because he doesn't abuse his body. He doesn't need a weight loss camp like Fury does.
I've still got Usyk.